How's it going, YouTube? Today I wanted to talk about my recent pickup in the Criterion Collection Barnes and Noble summer sale. Uh, Tampopo. God, I love this movie. Uh, Visually beautiful, a great story, a spaghetti western, if you will. The director in the special features commentary, he said it best. He said as if it's Shane but with ramen. You feel me? Shane, if y'all don't know, it's a western. Actually, right here, just drop something. Shane is an old western um, about a dude shows up, handles business, and leaves. And that's exactly what this movie is. A dude, Goro, a cowboy, you know what I'm saying? He got the cowboy hat, and his trusty sidekick, Gun. Uh, they're traveling, and Gun is reading this ramen informative novel about how to master ramen, and he like, I want some ramen. And so they end up stopping at their nearest ramen spot, which happens to be Tampopo's restaurant. Now, Tampopo is struggling in the ramen business. She's not doing well. The ramen is not good. It comes out, it's not boiling. That's the first thing they see when they walk in. It's not boiling. Um, but they can see that Tampopo's restaurant is being antagonized by the local neighborhood thugs. You know what I'm saying? They are tripping and basically driving out business, making the customers feel unwelcomed and things of that nature. So what does Goro and Goon do? They end up, picking a fight with these dudes, telling them, y'all tripping, y'all are out of y'all element, and they whoop them. I actually enjoy the fighting scene because the fighting scene it focuses on Tampopo and her son, and it doesn't show any actual fighting. It doesn't show them, hand to hand combat. It just shows Tampopo and her son's reaction to the combat and how shocked they are, about how Goro got them hands. Um, so yeah, but before that, I didn't address the vignette. So it starts off with this man in a white suit. He's unnamed. His listed name is Man in a White Suit, played by Koji something. I'm sorry, I forgot his last name. But he also stars in Perfect Days and I think Cure. So he directly addresses the camera, which is something that I really like. It's like a fourth wall break. He looks at the camera. He's like, "Oh, you at the movies too?" And I like that. I was like, "Oh, that's cool." He's talking to me. I felt included. It was immersive. And he's a dude who really likes movies. He's in a theater and someone's eating, I think, chips or popcorn very loudly, and he goes over there. I think he like ends up fighting them or something like that. And yeah, so that's how that little vignette, little side quest story starts off the movie, and then it goes to what I talked about them pulling up on Tampopo, and now time skip. They're leaving Tampopo's restaurant. They end up staying the night after they beat up all those thugs hanging out in Tampopo's restaurant. And as they're leaving, Tampopo goes up to them and is like, "Yo, please teach me your ways. I want to master ramen just like you." And at first, he's not, he don't really want to do it. But she's like, "I'll give you all the fresh pickles or something," and he says, "Bet." So he he agrees to help. He enlists, and he takes her under his wing. So yeah, like I said, great. There's great colors blocking. The fourth wall break was phenomenal. Um, the beautiful sets, and yeah, I loved how Gore was he was very cool, calm, and collective. He's like laid back, just like a old timey cowboy. You know what I'm saying? Would be. He's real. I don't know, kind of nonchalant, but he still got some power, some oomph to him. Um, there's some nice handheld cam shots that I like. There's some creative liberties took that way, and the framing of the shots. There's nice dialogue. There is very informative about food. You know what I'm saying? You gonna learn a thing or two, and that's that. Um, the montage sequence. So Yeah, after he agrees to help Tampopo, there's this nice montage sequence, Rocky esque, of her learning the ropes and eventually getting better and better, and her, just training. I loved it. It was like a perfect montage sequence. It showed her trial and error through all things ramen, and yeah, that was a great little nice sequence. It was a lot of there's a lot of physical comedy in this movie, and when I say that, I mean like you getting a lot of laughs not from dialogue, just off of how the characters, or I mean the actors, or what I'm saying, like their reaction to things, or just what they're doing in general is funny. You know what I'm saying? So it's a really funny movie. Um, yeah, another thing is the dinner scene. The dinner scene is another vignette where the these executives are meeting with another executive. They want to sell them something or something, and so imagine this is like a dining room. One set of executives on one side, one set of executives on the other. On this side, there is a young executive. He's a little uh uncultured, you know what I'm saying? He's not doing the norm. He's speaking out of turn, and yeah, it's just a nice one take scene sequence. It's really funny. I enjoyed it. So that one specifically. Um, yeah, really funny part where all the executives are so mad and embarrassed of how he's acting. They paint their faces red so they look like red with embarrassment and flushed. It was funny. I fucked with it. Um, yeah. So right after that, there's another vignette, or I don't know if it's right after, but eventually there's another vignette where um there is like a sort of etiquette class going on, where it's like this one very proper lady is teaching like 15 or so younger ladies how to eat properly with a spoon, and what they're supposed to do and not supposed to do in a professional or higher class elegant setting. And um, and then the camera pans, or she's like, the most important thing is whenever you're chewing, you can't hear, you're not supposed to hear you know what I'm saying? So no noise is supposed to be made. And then the camera pans to some white American dude, and he is slurping down some pasta like loud as hell, making people uncomfortable. It's pretty funny. I'm like, ah ha ha. Americans are, what I'm saying, like dirty or whatever. Or not dirty, but like we be eating loud, I guess. It was pretty funny. I laughed at that. Um and yeah, and then after that there's this like crazy slurping scene. Oh, it was very unsettling. Maybe that was what it was supposed to be, but it was just like all of the etiquette class and the teacher, they all like or start eating noodles or slurping noodles, and it's just like, imagine ASMR of like a bunch of people slurping noodles. It was overbearing, man, but it was cool. It was like a dope scene and creative. Um, Oh, and so eventually Tampopo, she goes around and she starts asking people about their broth. How's it made? People are reluctant to tell her. Um, and then there's this funny scene where Tampopo is in an argument with these cooks, and whenever they remove their hat, it kind of sounds like whenever Goku jumps, like, or like, I don't know. It's a funny little sound whenever they take off their hats. Like, and I like little details like that, like little funny things. That's interesting to me. Um, so yeah, that was really funny. I wrote down my notes, the noise whenever they remove their hat. LOL. Um, yeah, and so eventually Tampopo starts getting the orders correct, and everything's going good. But she cannot perfect her broth. So Goro has no choice but to take her to the sensei. The sensei being a homeless man in a tribe of other homeless men. And so yeah, so she meets the sensei, and they're actually cool as fuck. They're super cool. And another little vignette tangent, like a little tangent, happens where one of Sensei's homeboys makes I think it's omu rice, where it's rice with the omelet on top, but the omelet is still like kind of like raw to where you can cut it open and the egg drips down. You know what I'm talking about. Um, so one of the homeboys makes that for her son, and it's silent, like there's no dialogue, and it's just pianos, like a 1920s silent film, like ding, ding, ding. Like I don't know, it was very upbeat. I loved that. That was like probably my favorite sequence, or and the egg looked very good, like or the omu rice looked very good. Speaking of egg, the egg. There's another vignette where the man in the white suit, he is with his lady, and man, they are getting down in the bedroom, but with some food involved. You know what I'm saying? They're doing some wicked stuff, eye-opening stuff, and one of the most probably like took a lot of time to film that scene, and I know it did because I watched the behind the scenes. The egg scene. If you've seen this movie, you know what I'm talking about. The egg scene is so basically the man in the white suit and his lady, they kissing, right? And he got an egg in his mouth, the yolk, and they're passing it back and forth. Like, I think the director said they did it 7 times, and then she ends up like biting the yolk and it go everywhere. Super like sexy, sensual scene. Yeah, it was a crazy dope scene. You know what I'm saying? I liked it. It was cool, and yeah, so that's another nice little vignette that happened. And so oh my goodness, would be remiss if I didn't talk about the set, not the set design, but the I don't know what it's called, but what the characters are wearing. Um, yeah, I wish I knew the term. I feel like I do it. I'm just blanking on it. But their outfits were crazy. Goro was fresh, and every character had their own silhouette. Like Goro had his hat. Goon was hella fresh. He always wore like a bandana. He looked racerish. Speed racerish. Sorry, I heard a loud bang outside of my window, and I had to check out. Not like a loud bang, but I was staying in apartments, and yeah, things happen. I gotta check, man. So, anyways, like I was saying, the every character has their own silhouette. Girl with the hat, Goon with the bandana, Sensei with his like, I guess maybe he don't really got a silhouette, but he do. I just don't. I can't remember off the top of my head what he was wearing. And then there's the man in the suit that came from. He's another ramen specialist that she met along the way, and he's always wearing like a suit. He's also a cab or taxi driver, and uh, and then Tampopo's homeboy from childhood, who was also antagonizing her in the beginning as those gangsters. He ends up coming through. Him and Goro have like a dope ass fight scene where Goro is just putting paws on his ass, and then he's like, "Dang, you fight?" And Goro's like, "Yeah, featherweight champion, dude." And then he's like, "Damn, I knew it." So they end up just becoming homeboys, which I like. It reminded me of in the Tale is at Tuichi, um, where rivals and just end up being homeboys at the end of the day. Um, so yeah, so they end up becoming homeboys. He brings him back to the shop. Tampopo at first is like, "Bro, get out. What are you doing?" And then he's like, "No, I'm actually here to help. I'm a carpenter. I can do the whole interior of this thing." So as Tampopo is rebuilding, learning new ramen recipes and building her repertoire and her skills, she also intends to, rebuild her shop and build it up to where they get more, visits and things of that nature. So yeah. And then Tampopo and Goro also. So throughout this whole time, there's kind of this little slow burning romance brewing between Goro and Tampopo. Um, so Tampopo and Goro end up going on a date kind of thing, and Tampopo wears this iconic all black dress with red polka dots. Shit was fire. So yeah. Oh, there's another nice little vignette with this old lady who goes into a grocery store and she just starts touching on food, like, and she's squeezing the shit out of it too. Like she's touching on like plums and oranges and pears, squeezing them till the juice come out. And then yeah, the store manager ends up chasing her and he catches her, and yeah, it's just things like that that keep you engaged. You know what I'm saying? You don't get fatigue from the main story, but the main story is amazing. But not that you would, but the vignettes just offer you just other interesting things, but they also still have to do with food, and they're food centered. Another nice vignette is the scene with the mom. So there's a scene with the mom. She's making dinner for like four of her kids and her baby daddy, and she's really sick, and she's laying on the floor, and the dad's like, I know how to like help her, heal her or whatever. He's like, go make dinner, and so she gets up, and she's like sickly like making dinner, but she's all like woozy and stuff because she's sick, and she serves her kids, sits down, and passes away. Damn, that's fucked up. That just shows you mothers do everything that they can for their kids. They'll put their kids first, even to their last second on this earth. That was a moving scene. Um, yeah, kind of had like a little funny moment where after she passes away, all the kids are crying, and then the dad's like, "Finish your fried rice. This is the last meal your mom made. Finish it. Eat it while it's hot." And it was really funny to me. And so yeah, so many emotions that are conveyed through the face in this movie, especially from Tampopo. Her acting was great, and yeah, so there's so many great scenes in this movie. A lot of great food that's shown. The colors are really popping. It's beautiful, beautiful film. I loved it. The ending, the ending to me was perfect. Um, Tampopo gets everything right. She ends up opening a restaurant, and an opening day, we don't know if Goro's gonna stay or he's gonna leave. I thought he was gonna settle down with Tampopo. You know what I'm saying? And um, nah, he loves her enough to, you know what I'm saying, let her go. And so him and Goon just get back in the truck and hit the road. And Tampopo, I'm assuming, is she her, shop probably flourishes. Uh, Another little funny thing is, so in the beginning, whenever those gangsters were tripping on Tampopo in her restaurant, he was having like three kids jump Tampopo's son every day or whatever. So he would come home, and then Tempo was like, "Dang, you got jumped again?" And he was like, "Yeah." And so yeah, and then the next day in the morning, Tampopo's son is talking to Goro. Um, I wish I would have wrote down his name. But Tampopo-san is talking to Goro, and he's telling him about how he began into squabbles with the other people or whatever, with the three people, and he's just like, yeah, but I never run though. My pops, he said to never run. Like a man who runs isn't a man. So I always just take the fade. And yeah, that's cool. At the end, I guess he learned from Goro or something, because he ends up whooping those three kids. I'm talking straight hands, and he ends up beating them up, and then they like submit to him, and now they're his homies. They're like in a captive homie situation where they're just afraid of this guy. So then uh, he comes downstairs, the kid, and the kids show up, and it's like, oh, let's go to school. And he's like, oh, what's up? Whoop de whoop de whoop. And yeah, that's just another little funny thing. Like, there's so many nice small elements that I love about this movie. And yeah, to me, 5 stars, buddy. I loved it. The director, he did his thing with this one. It's beautiful, and yeah, this is definitely something I'm gonna rewatch over and over. I already watched the making of Tampopo, which is a special feature that comes with the Criterion Blu-ray. It's like an hour and 30 minutes. Super super informative. He walks you through like every important or important or like yeah, pretty much important scene in the movie. I don't know what else I was gonna say. Prominent, important or prominent scene in the movie, and he just walks you through it step by step, what he was thinking in the process, what he had to do to get the scene done, things of that nature. So yeah, I really love this movie. I'm gonna watch it again. I want to finish the special features, but I'm trying to space them out so I don't get like fatigued. But yeah, shout out Tampopo, shout out Criterion. Go ahead and watch. Yeah, it's on HBO Max right now. So if you got HBO Max, go home at the crib, watch it. It's beautiful. yeah, a very funny movie with a love letter to food and culinary in general. Yeah, I'll see y'all later.